Imagine opening your email tomorrow morning and finding out that your position has been eliminated. Not because you did anything wrong, not because you weren't valuable, not because you weren't a top performer, simply because someone you've never met decided a spreadsheet needed different numbers. Now, before you tell yourself, that would never happen to me, that's exactly what thousands of people thought before it happened to them. And that's what today's video is about. Because the biggest career risk most women are taking right now isn't starting a side business, it's waiting. Waiting until they feel ready, waiting until they have more time, waiting until something forces them to change. And by the end of this video, I want to challenge the way you've been thinking about security, work, and your future. Because what feels safe today may actually be the riskiest thing you're doing. Hi, my name is Catherine. If we've never met, I am a coach and business strategist. I help women start a business with the skills, expertise, or life experience they already have. Now, let's jump into it. Let me tell you about Anna. That's not her real name, but her story is very real. Anna had done everything right. She had been with her company for over 10 years. Leadership respected her. She consistently exceeded expectations. She was told she was next in line for promotion. When layoffs started being discussed, she wasn't worried. She believed loyalty mattered. She believed that hard work protected her. She believed being valuable made you safe. Then one morning, she received the email. Her position was being eliminated, not because she failed, not because she wasn't needed, because the company restructured. Years of dedication disappeared in a single conversation. And the hardest part wasn't losing the job. The hardest part was realizing she had built her entire financial future around a system she did not control. But here's the question that hit Anna harder than losing her job. What if the biggest risk wasn't the layoff? What if the biggest risk was dependent on one source of income for 10 years? Let's talk about that. Many of us were taught the same formula. Get a good job, work hard, be loyal, stay long enough so, your work would be rewarded even more. Everything will work out. And for decades, that advice made sense. But the world of work has changed. Companies merge, departments disappear, technology changes jobs overnight, economic conditions shift. And none of those things ask permission before impacting your life. Yet many smart, talented women continue placing 100% of their financial future into one paycheck. Think about that. If one paycheck supports your lifestyle and one company controls that paycheck, then one decision can change everything. That's not security. That's dependence. And dependence feels safe until it isn't. Before we go further, if you've been wondering whether your skills, experience, or knowledge could become something more than a paycheck, I created a free guide called From Stuck to Started, the 4-part framework for turning your skills into a business. It's designed specifically for women who know they want more options but aren't sure where to start. The link is in the description below. Now let's continue because this next shift is where everything changes. What if the goal was never to quit your job? What if the goal was simply to stop depending on it completely? That's a very different conversation. When I talk to women about starting something of their own, I hear the same objections. I don't know what business I could start. I don't have enough time. I am not entrepreneurial. What if I fail? But underneath all of those concerns is usually one deeper fear. What if I try and it doesn't work? The irony is that most women never ask the opposite question. What if I don't try? What if 5 years from now nothing changes? What if layoffs happen? What if burnout gets worse? What if age discrimination becomes a factor? What if the job market becomes even more competitive? What if staying where you are is actually the greatest risk? Because doing nothing feels safe, but doing nothing is still a decision. And every year you delay building options is another year your future remains dependent on circumstances you don't control. Now, let me be clear. I am not suggesting you quit your job tomorrow. That is not practical. I would never do that. In fact, I usually recommend the opposite. Here's why. The smartest time to build another income stream is before you desperately need one. Not after a layoff, not after burnout, not after a crisis, before. When you have a paycheck, when you have stability, when you can make thoughtful decisions. Because building a business today isn't necessarily about replacing your income. It's about creating options. Options create confidence. Options create flexibility. Options reduce fear. Imagine knowing that if your company made a decision tomorrow, you already had something else growing. Imagine knowing your skills could generate income beyond your job title. Imagine having something of your own, something nobody can restructure away from you. That changes how you show up at work. That changes how you think about your future. That changes your relationship with fear. Because your confidence no longer comes from your employer. It comes from your ability to create value. And that is a completely different kind of security. The truth is this. Most women aren't one promotion away from peace of mind. They're one additional source of income away from breathing easier. The question isn't whether building something of your own is risky. Everything carries risks. The real question is, what's riskier? Starting something small while you have options, or waiting until circumstances force your hand. Because the women who navigate uncertainty best are rarely the ones with the best jobs. They're the ones with the most options. If today's message resonated with you, download the free guide, From Stuck to Started, the 4-part framework for turning your skills into a business. There is an amazing prompt in there that would help you really uncover what could be hidden as a foundation of a business for you. Inside, I'll show you how to identify the skills, experience, and knowledge you already have that could become a business or additional income stream. The link is in the description below. And I'd love to hear from you. What do you think is the biggest risk today? Starting something new or depending entirely on one paycheck? Leave your comment below. And if you're ready for more conversation about creating options, building income beyond your 9 to 5, and taking control of your future, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.